So this is kind of one of the things that I talk with the brokers. And dealers, getting in contract today with, a partner is exactly part of this deal hierarchy. So the way that kind of real estate brokerage is going is it used to be that we would contact a seller and be like, hey, how can I sell your house? And give them a listing presentation. So we kind of feel that the market is going into a different way. We've got Opendoor now. We've got these other iBuyers that are coming in. What they're doing is they're giving a cash deal. They're like, well, why don't I just buy it, get it off your hands, get you on your way, and then I'll figure out how to sell it later. And maybe they like slap some paint on it, or maybe they just turn around and then just do the arbitrage and sell it for $15,000 more and wait for the buyer, and they can afford to hold on to it for a little bit. So the market is definitely it's changing, and so this slide here is kind of a hierarchy on what you can do with the real estate deal. So, and the first one that starts out is like, if you're looking at this and you're talking to someone, you're like, well, can I buy it? Like, is that something that like our company can buy? Can we get it? Can we rent it out? Can we do it? And is the deal good enough for that? My Chris and I have definitely bought directly from our clients before. Some of those have been some of the best deals. And it's a win-win situation because they don't have to deal with a bunch of different people. It happens quickly. They close when they want to move out. And so that's very nice.
Or when they need the money.
Or you work out some deal. The next is, can I control it? And that's like, well, they don't want to get out and have to pay a whole bunch of taxes for getting a lump sum payment. So it's, can you control the financing on it? Can they do owner financing, and can you give them high principal payments and low interest payments, or vice versa, low interest payments and high principal payments? It's trying to work out a deal where you control the financing of it and you control the payments, and which allows for a win-win situation. So something that one of our clients wanted to just get strict like $11,000 or $12,000 a month, and it was like, how do we get that person this sort of payment? So we structured it where we got interest-only payments for the first couple years, and then after a little bit, it switched, and we got the rents up. Then it switched over to principal payments, and over an amortized schedule. So that's kind of an example of how you can control it. Next is, can you wholesale it? With our WIN Investors Network, we're introducing ourselves to investors. So is there a way to double in the deal and do it quickly and for like a quick close? You can do an assignment contract on it and get it out to some investors and that know that they can flip it. And that's pretty great. It's usually pretty quick. The other thing too is like with the deal that you're going to wholesale or control or something like that, like generally there's some problems with it. Like if you get to a property and you see that it's just a Class A property, everything is fixed up, chances are you're not going to be able to wholesale that. Like typically there's got to be some work in the deal or something that the seller isn't able to perform themselves. So then next, can we create value by flipping it? Like, is there enough money in there or enough value where we can put in a little bit of money and do some cosmetic remodels or do something larger and get more money out of it? And then, so once you've gone through all of these, it's like, then can we double end with a retail buyer? That means just finding another buyer within our brokerage, or where maybe one of our brokers gets the buy side and we get the sell side. And then finally, the last thing that we do now is, well, can I list it for you? And that's just throwing it up to the open market and seeing who else is out there. So this is kind of like the way real estate is going. There's a bunch of firms that are setting themselves up like this. And especially, and I think that we should definitely look at doing more of the items in the first kind of category. And when you get in front of a seller that has just an awful property, you'll know when you get into a deal, or someone's going to have a deal that's like this. A lot of the listings that we have that are our rentals are not going to fit in this like bottom area. It's going to be more of like, do I need to create value by adding some square footage, or can I double end it? And then we have definitely listed rentals. Like, we pride ourselves in good rentals that are well kept, and so we definitely end up listing a lot of those. But it's great because we are brokers as well, and we are gaining more clients that Nicole's bringing on, and hopefully we can list more of their properties when they actually decide to sell, or represent them when they want to buy more. So that is kind of the presentation on the deal hierarchy, and this is one of the slides that I thought was really apropos to brokerage. There definitely was some other stuff in here. And they went over this. This was kind of about starting a wholesale company. And Nicole, we kind of did this when we were targeting our multifamily list. Mm-hmm. It was like, look at area, zip code, length of ownership. So when we came up with our multifamily list, we were looking at loans or purchases that were more than 5 years old. Typically, when someone buys a property, they want to hold on to it and have it appreciate for some time before they sell it. And they also get to capture the depreciation on it. So typically, people are exchanging property anywhere from 5 to 15 years. So actually targeting those people can be very good. So, does anybody have any questions?
No, looks like a lot of valuable information.
How much money should you have if you want to start investing?
So the great thing with real estate is, technically, you don't have to have any money. Like Taylor, I mean, this deal that he's doing with a partner, he's found someone else that has the money. He's going to do the work. He's found the deal, and he's finding a way to partner with them on it. And it's a great opportunity. They say, like, when you're starting out in real estate, you have a lot of time to give and not a lot of money. There's a lot of other people that are on the other end of the spectrum that have a lot of money in real estate, but they don't have nor want the time to go bird dog and find the deals and do the things that need to be done. So partnering up with someone that's on the other end of the spectrum can really allow you to really propel yourself forward. And so that is one of the cool things. And the people that are super seasoned in it and have a lot of money know what a good deal is, and generally, like, if they have to take over or like help you out, like, they have the capacity or know how to do it. They generally don't want to, but so that is the premise of like what Bigger Pockets is all about, is bringing all those people together. And there's all sorts of facets of real estate too. I mean, wholesaling, buying, property management, services such as contracting, escrow, financing. Like, there's so many different types of jobs in real estate that generally there's a lot of different types of investors as well.
But if you just kind of look at the model that AJ and I have embodied, that kind of started this company, it's called BRRRR, and it's buy, rent, rehab, refinance, and repeat. And I was listening to a podcast on it that kind of summed it up last night. And the idea is, if you want an extremely successful BRRRR, you need to find a property that after you have added your value to it, so your rehab, that all of your costs, the purchase price plus the repairs, will equal 70% of what it appraises for, or 75% of what it appraises for. Because then you will get all of your capital back, or all of your investors' capital back on that refinance. So that's kind of the equation that you need to back out, as if you have a property that you think is going to be worth $100,000 after you do all your fix-ups and repairs, then you can only spend $75,000 acquiring it and fixing it up. So AJ and I managed to do that, and there's still deals out there that you can do that on. So
AJ, when you're looking at this hierarchy, and say one of us has a meeting with a client and their house is kind of if it's perfect for this hierarchy, you know, there's work that needs to be done, and it's a little bit
you're breaking up.
if you're not in the can you hear me?
Yeah.
If you're not in like the financial
Breaking up. Trent, you're breaking up.
When I get to the office.
Trent, we didn't hear
So
a single thing you said.
I think what his question is if you guys as brokers find yourself in this deal and you don't have the finances to do it, is like, what can you do? And so the premise of this hierarchy is that if it's a good enough deal, then you should just buy it yourself. Like, hard money is going to make sense. That 12%, that 18% money, like, you just know that you are going to buy it and you are going to make a ton of money. The next is like, can I control it? So if you don't have the financing to buy it, like, well, then can you get the owner to agree to some sort of financing where you can control it, where you do have the financing to do that? And then if you don't, and if you still, that doesn't work, then you have the question of, well, shoot, can I just wholesale it? Yeah, that takes no financing whatsoever. Wholesaling it, you literally sign a contract that says, hey, I'm going to buy this property, but I reserve the right to sell it, and I reserve the right to cancel. And then you go try to sell it to investors. So that takes no financing whatsoever. So those first three, like, I could understand if you don't have the financing right off the bat to just go get a bank loan and do it. Like, that's the whole point of, like, trying to think through this thought process of what can I do that with no or little or no money that I can get into this real estate. Does that answer your question, Trent?
Yeah. And
And
one follow-up.
A deal that's going to be that good, obviously Chris and I will try to help you out as best as possible.
Yeah, share it with us, and you know, we will help you. We're not going to steal it from you. Like, we help you guys succeed, and you know, I think part of can I control it as well is talking with partners and figuring out, okay, maybe I can't own it 100%, but maybe I can get it, you know, where I've got 25 or 50%, and you bring in some partners to help.
One of my
purchase
dad's
property.
favorite sayings was 50% of something is better than 100% of nothing.
Facts. One follow-up question for that is, how does an assignable contract differ from a normal purchase and sale agreement?
There's an assignment clause.
Is that like an ORF form, or do you have to have your own?
I have copies of assignment contracts if you guys need them.
I want to read through one. I've never seen one before.
It's a little different. It's more like a land sale contract.
Okay.
Happy to share those with you. Please share those. Yeah, I love it. Absolutely. It's actually in this whole folder too. So if you just look through it, it's in there.
Okay.
Cool. Awesome. Any other questions? Ronnie, did this fulfill the metrics training real estate stuff?
Yes, it did, part one.
All right.
What do you want to talk